Hey guys, this is Justin at the Survivor Review, and with Jurassic World coming out soon, I'm going to be taking a look back at the first three Jurassic Park movies, starting with the original classic, Jurassic Park. Now I actually have already reviewed this. I reviewed it back when it got re-released in 3D, but that review mostly talked about the 3D experience and all that stuff, and from my early reviews, so it wasn't very good. But if you want to check it out for some strange reason, I have the link in the description. But anyway, on with Jurassic Park. The plot of the film is billionaire John Hammond has found a way to recreate dinosaurs, basically bringing dinosaurs back to life. And he's turning that into a theme park called Jurassic Park. But after one incident, they're being threatened by a lawsuit and need a few scientist type of people to sign off on the park before they can go ahead and open it. So they get paleontologist Alan Grant, paleobotanist Ellie Sattler, and chaos theorist Ian Malcolm to go to the park and just make sure everything's good, and then they'll open it up. No, the problem is everything's not so good and things get out of hand, chaos ensues. So basically that's the gist of the plot. Now Jurassic Park is over 20 years old and it's still amazing. It's still a great movie. What it does best is it blends a lot of elements together. It's fun. It has this sense of wonder that even though you've already seen the movie 100 times and have seen its sequels, you're still in awe whenever you first see the dinosaurs. You're still like, oh man, they're dinosaurs. It brings out the kid in you and it still works. Then when the T-Rex comes in, it turns into a relentless survival movie that is terrifying and intense. So it's just all these elements that blend perfectly. And I'll elaborate on this when I get to those movies, but that's why I think the sequels don't work as well, is because they all take little elements from this and just do that. They don't have that blend. And that's what makes this movie work so well and make it memorable. So it has that blend of fun, humor, terror, and suspense that's just so perfectly put together by Steven Spielberg, who pretty much did the same thing with Jaws. And he's so good at doing that, just blending these elements into a fun movie that's also terrifying and even has some great jump scares that are still terrifying. Like, even when I saw the movie again in theaters, people were reacting to the jump scares. They're not cheap jump scares, they're actual, they work. They're just perfect. The cast in this movie is phenomenal. Everybody is great. Everybody is a memorable character. They all have these great characteristics that make you remember them, make you care for them, make them feel like real people. And of course, the best character in the movie is Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm. His character is so awesome. He's funny, he's weird, he's great. The only problem is, once you get to the second half of the movie, he doesn't do a whole lot. After the whole incident with the T-Rex, and then after that, he's just kind of sitting around with John Hammond. So he's kind of underused. It's one of those things that I always forget until I rewatch the movie. Like whenever I rewatch the original Halloween and I realize that all Dr. Loomis did for the whole movie is just stand outside Michael Myers' house until the ending. And it's kind of like that. I'm watching the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, Jeff Goldblum really doesn't do a whole lot. But he's still a great character, and it's okay because he gets his own movie, although the movie kind of sucks. The special effects in this movie are incredible. The way it blends the CGI and the animatronic dinosaurs is perfect. It's so great. Even the CGI in this movie is still great. It still holds up and is better than a lot of movies that I've seen today. The only time the CGI doesn't work is in the bright daylight shots. The first dinosaur, I'm not really good with dinosaur names, the really big one that they see in the beginning of the movie, that shot, that doesn't hold up because you see it's the skin texture of it close up and it's in broad daylight, and that shot doesn't really work just because of the effects just don't look good. Aside from that though, they use the CGI well. The dinosaurs are always in darker lighting, and so it blends the CGI elements in with the real elements perfect. Then there's the animatronic dinosaurs that are so well done and so convincing. There's even that shot when the T-Rex is looking in the car window and his eye dilates. And you're just like, oh, what? That's so crazy. That's really happening. It's really on the screen. And that's one of the reasons why the effects still hold up, is just the blend of animatronic and CGI. They didn't rely on the CGI for everything, and that's what made it so great. This movie has so many memorable scenes in it, and that just shows you how more powerful this movie is compared to the sequels, when the sequels have bigger action, bigger dinosaurs, bigger things going on, but the most memorable moments of the series are in the first film. You have the build-up to the introduction of the T-Rex, which is still a great scene, even after seeing the movie hundreds of times. Just the build-up with the water rippling in the cup and the goat's leg hitting the car, all that stuff is great. That whole sequence is great. When the T-Rex is attacking the kids in the car, it's still like, oh crap. And you have the scene in the kitchen when the velociraptors are going after the kids. That's another great scene. It's so well done. Even the ending when the T-Rex is inside the building and the banner falls. It's just so awesome and so memorable. It just shows you how awesome dinosaurs are. This movie just makes dinosaurs awesome. The T-Rex is huge and intimidating and just scary. And then the velociraptors are just also scary because they're just running after. They move so fast. Whenever you see one, you're just like, oh god, get away, because they move so fast. And it's just awesome. There aren't too many flaws with the film, aside from a few technical errors that I found in the movie, like the obvious one being the T-Rex fence turning into a cliff. And there's a shot in that scene where when the lawyer gets out of the car and runs away and the door's open, every time it cuts to Alan Grant and Ian Malcolm from their point of view looking at that car, the door is closed when it's not supposed to be. Just a continuity error that, to me, is really obvious, and can't believe they didn't go in and fix that. But aside from that, the flaws in this movie are very minimal. There isn't a whole lot wrong with this movie. The movie just flows so perfectly that even though the dinosaurs don't show up till a little while into the movie, you're still into it, even the beginning part. All that stuff that I'm learning how the dinosaurs were created and all that stuff is still engaging, even though there's no dinosaurs attacking people. And the score is... It's perfect. The John Williams theme is just amazing. It's so great. When I was rewatching this movie for this review, I watched it through the whole end credits just to listen to the music because it's that good. And that's one of the things that just makes it even more memorable. It's just the theme is one of John Williams' best pieces of music, in my opinion. Probably not my favorite, but it's one of his best. And it's just so awesome. It just brings out that awe-inspiring, epicness that these are dinosaurs brought back to life. It just makes it work. And I think that's why this movie, like I said before, is still good. Even though you've had sequels that show the dinosaurs a lot more, do a lot more with the dinosaurs, this one is still good just because of the way it puts everything together and the way it makes it feel like an event. That's the thing, their sequels are just like, here's a dinosaur movie. This one feels like an event, like, dude, there's dinosaurs, this is crazy. And that's what makes it still memorable, because you still remember that event of watching Jurassic Park, and that's why the movie is still great. So, out of 10, pretty obvious, 10 out of 10. Love this movie. It's amazing. For those movies that I don't rewatch a whole lot, and I always feel bad that I don't. It's because it's so awesome. And every time I do watch it, it's like, why don't I watch this movie all the time? It's that great. So that's Jurassic Park. Such a great film that if you haven't seen it, what have you been doing for the past 20 years? This movie is incredible, and it's so much fun. It was awesome seeing it again in theaters a couple years ago. I still remember that. So definitely awesome film. So I'll be back to talk about its sequels, which are not so awesome. But until then, I'll talk to you guys later.